Friday, March 30th, 2018. Friday, guys. It's the last day. We want to hear your weekend plans. This is the show before the show, the pre-show, MMA Junkie Radio. Dan Tom's off to the left. This is Gorgeous George. I don't know what capacity we'll have Gorgeous George. He's a little sick today, but he's here. Bobby Green, finally got him in studio. We've been talking about this for a very long time, getting him in here, and he's finally in here, and he's a SoCal guy. George is showing us he's got his antibacterial.
Yeah, that. What's
I
up,
tried
guys?
to go real light on that fist bump. One, I got a real big fist. I didn't want to hurt you.
You know what I'm saying?
The sickness thing. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it. Glad you made it.
Stand by.
Hopefully, I motivated you to come today.
You did.
Yes, sir. We're going to get a lid in here.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night
Is
long.
that's that Ben? No. That's a bird. It's my dog. We're rolling!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. He's our ace co-host. To my left, it's the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Back east, handling all the producing duties, Danny Otto. And our special co-host for the day, it's UFC lightweight Bobby Green, straight from the streets of the IE, to be more exact, Fontana.
Yeah, that Mr. IE to be exact.
How you doing, King Bobby Green?
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's an honor.
It's an honor for us. We've been covering you for a long time.
Yeah. I really don't do
and we're
interviews
SoCalers
much.
like yourself, so this
I'm
is
happy
special.
to be here.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. We're going to do some interesting things today.
Very cool. You're in town you're spending some time at the UCPI, I heard.
Yes, sir. Getting on all my rehab, getting everything back together so I can get ready for the next fight.
Might as well use it, right? You're only 3 hours away, and they've created a beautiful facility there for the fighters to take advantage. It's unfortunate, some live in Russia, Brazil, Japan. It's not as easy for them, but you're here, and you're here for, what, a week, too?
Yeah, I'm here for a week this time. I'm going to keep coming out. Vegas is going to be my second home away from home. I'm trying to take over this motherfucker. So with that being said, I'm going to be here all the time. The PI is a great facility for all the fighters. I suggest any fighter goes. Right now, I've been doing a bunch of testing to find out more about my body. Like, they have all these different things, these benchmarks, and let you know where you are as an athlete. Where's your nutrition? Where's all these different things that you need to know, and that all these other fighters are guessing at. You get these
like the
PT
chemistry
guys. You get these
of
nutrition gurus and stuff like that think they know what they're doing, and really they just kind of picked and stuff up here and worked a little bit here and worked with this guy, and now they're getting all these honors, and they actually don't know too much. So it's good to get some down to the bottom cold facts, on what it is that I need to know about myself.
That is a big watch, my friend. I like it.
Well, shout out to Nixon for shooting it to me, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm a watch guy. I wish I owned more, and I could really say I'm a watch guy, but I'm at least an admirer of
I'm
nice
a jewelry
watches.
guy. I love jewelry. That's what I do. Like gold, jewelry, like diamonds. That's what I do. That's my thing, I don't try to – I stay in my own lane. This is my lane. This is what I do.
So you've already gone there, and they've already tried to figure out your body's chemistry. Hey, you need more carbs, more protein. You have incredible cardio, or we can up the cardio, or you have too much muscle or not enough muscle. That's where they do all that scientific shit, right?
Exactly.
How's that been going? What have you found anything out about yourself that you didn't know?
I found out a lot, They tell you about simple things like the imperfections in your body. If you're off balance here, or if you're doing this, there's some things that I learned that I'm not even using in my body. Why I'm missing some things in the game. Like for instance, we were able to figure out with the power shots. They're like, you got strength. You're stronger than most fighters into 55, and you're faster than most fighters at the UFC, but you're missing how to put your strength and your power together to get, strength and speed to get the power in a shot. So I was explaining to my coach, I hit some of these guys with some shots. I'm breaking their noses. I'm busting their eyes up, but it's not putting enough shot to drop them. So we were able to look at some things and say, oh, okay, you're doing this with your feet. Hey, you're actually not coming off. You're losing half of your power when you do this. So I was like, okay, I got to work on these different things, balance drills, different techniques and stuff to add on to that power.
Well, of the 24 wins, 17 are finishes, so you have gotten quite a fair share of finishes. But you're saying you feel like there's still another level or two you can take it.
Yes, I'm just scratching the surface. A lot of things I'm doing are just raw talent, some things that I don't even know about myself, and it's just real skill, more so than actually learning more up in depth to it.
And so you got a win earlier this year. You were scheduled to fight in Vegas, and you pulled out because of an injury. Now, can you update us on your health a little?
Yeah, so my thing right now is, like, I really want to show fighters that, like, let's really push this line. So when I fought this last fight with Eric Koch, I was trying to jump back and fight the next month, the next later. And I want to fight the next month after that. And I want to fight the next month after that just to show my regimen. I really want to push that. But there was something that was bothering me, and I had to get that out of the way. Now we were able to get my knee cleaned up. I had a little meniscus tear in there. So that's cleaned up. We're ready to go.
So it wasn't a major setback then, right?
Not a major setback. Before I had an ACL and meniscus, and that was a major setback.
Right.
It set me back 2 years of my time, and just the rehab, the movement, I'm not even moving the same. It took me so long to figure that out. So when I fought Poirier, I wasn't myself, yet. I was kind of prepared, but there's some things that I'm still missing. This is a better me now. It's a better me.
Yeah, and the lightweight division is going to make a comeback in 2018. There's some big fights lined up, you know what I mean? And you've already traded leather with some of these cats. Some are on their way up, some are on their way down. So I'm sure you're dying to get into that mix because we've said this for a few weeks now, that Conor will more than likely be stripped of his title, and they are going to fight for the undisputed title in about a week here, just outside of a week. And then there's some other matchups where things are going to play out, and the 55 division is going to be popping like it once was.
Man, right now, this month alone, I think it's April, the month of April, where like all the lightweights are going at it. It's a light war right now.
It's a good shakeup, you know what I mean?
Everyone's trying to be the king right now. Everyone's trying to conquer the land. So I think it's a great time for lightweights.
You got Felder and Iaquinta,
yep.
Chiesa and Pettis, the championship fight.
Lee and Barbosa. You got
Gaethje and Poirier.
Yep.
So there's some really good
I'm looking at Joe Lazan. I fought with Dan Lazan, and I really couldn't get that back. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna beat up the big brother. So I want to get Joe Lazan, but he's fighting. I think
Rutzemacher.
I don't know his name. Chris Grits, I call him.
Yeah. He's okay with that.
Yeah. So maybe I get the winner of those guys. Maybe I get a winner of somebody. I'm just trying to get back in.
We were at that fight when you fought Joe Lazan. I might have to remind you about 3 cup shots, but yeah, there was a fight.
Don't bring it up.
You know what's funny?
I remember that. Yeah,
if it happened such a long time ago, I'm sure he's okay with us, going down memory lane.
Yeah, that.
But I don't know if it was the second one or the third one, and Bobby's telling the audience like, "What? Come on, he's crazy. I didn't do that."
I remember that.
And then everybody looks up because the camera does the slow motion. Bobby looks up and he goes, "Oh, okay, my bad."
No. What I was saying is,
funny, man.
He keeps trying to look for a way out. Like, come on, like I'm barely touching you. It's like a toe touched him. A toe hits him and he's come on, bro. It didn't really hit you that hard. That's what I was saying.
It would be a cool storyline to fight both Lozans, though. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, if I can't beat up the little brother, why not beat up the big brother? It is what it is.
Get that one back against the Lozans.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna let Goes and Dan ask you some questions too. I just want to finish something out. How do you see things shaking out on these fights we just covered? Like, are you a predictor, or who do you think? Give us an idea of who you think is moving up and down.
Unpredictable. That's the one thing about our sport. Styles make fights. You can't predict anything. Just when you think something's predictable, there's always something that goes, whoa, I didn't expect that. Like, it happens all the time in our sport. So you can never say this is a for sure. Like, everybody's counting Tony out of this fight, saying Khabib's been so dominant in 25-0, 25-0. But Tony is a crazy motherfucker. Crazy. Does some crazy shit. And just steps out of the box. And when you got guys that can do that, there's anything that's possible. Okay. Anything's possible.
on that same topic of anything being possible. Not too long ago, we would have said Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. That'll never happen, but it happened. And now the little talk is Floyd coming to the UFC. You'd like to welcome him, right?
Man, let's discuss that a little bit, okay? So I got a little bit of flack about talking about Floyd. People think that I want to fight Floyd because of a money opportunity or a fame opportunity, you know, and those have nothing to do with that at all, okay? Growing up as a little black kid, Floyd Mayweather was the greatest thing to us. You know what I mean? I remember being with my best friend at that time, and we would it was like our diehard thing. We have to be there. We have to go there and represent this man who's representing us. Mm-hmm. And he's all this, you know? And so as growing up, Mayweather was my fucking legend, you know? That's why I kind of fight like him. Some people say I fight like him. But I think that it was a point where I started growing up. I was able actually to go into the Mayweather gym. So I go in there, and I'm trying to get some sparring in. Looking around, trying to ask some guys to do some sparring. Nobody's really want to box me. They're actually disrespecting me. They're calling me scratchers. They're calling me kickers and biters. And
wow.
Oh, yeah, because they don't respect our sport. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like Mayweather's playing with us, you know, like trolling. Don't troll with my sport. Don't play. This is not a game over here. We will kill you. Not a game over here. You think this is a game? You think this is a cakewalk? I will kill you if you step in the ring with me. It's just different. So I'm in the cage. Mayweather comes into the gym. He's trying to get someone to spar. I hop in. I'm saying, hey, can I box? You know, I'm new here. I just want to get in box. They embarrassed me. They do some different stuff. But anyway, not about them. More so about Mayweather. So right before this happens, I go up to Mayweather. This is my first time getting to meet this guy. And I'm going, here's the legend. And I say, listen, sir, I treat you with respect. And I'm not going to, this is a man that I admire. I say, thank you what you've done for black people. Thank you what you've done for me. And I bowed to him. Mayweather looked at me. He didn't flinch. He didn't move. He didn't blink. He looked straight through me as if I was not even there. So I sat there for a second to see, like, what is he reading? What's going on? You know, like, maybe he thinks I'm disrespectful, or I should just wanted to show you some respect and thank you for what you've done. And I took that moment. I never forgot that moment, you know. So when I went back to the hood, where all my niggas, and we all fuck with Mayweather, I'm like, fuck that nigga, bro. That nigga's a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't got no honor amongst men. You know what I mean? That's what it was to me. Is like, you can be a great person, and that's what I realized, that you can be a great person, and you can be awesome to people. And you can have that one time that you showed your ass to the wrong person, and you don't know when it's going to come back and bite you. You know, he doesn't remember this time. He doesn't remember this, and he doesn't know why. Now all of a sudden, I come out of nowhere, and I'm like this. It's because this one day you were disrespectful with me when I came to you man to man in a setting, and now I have a certain personal thing with you. This is not about money. This is about the lesson. You know what I mean? I'm going to teach you. I'm better at your style. People say that I can run that Floyd Mayweather shoulder shit. A lot of guys like Daniel Cormier say they shouldn't do that, but I do it anyway because I can run that style. That's my style. Mm-hmm. I'm better at Floyd than that, at his style. He comes into the cage, there's 30, 50 guys that say, hey, I can beat Mayweather. But you take those same 30 or 50 guys and say, can they beat me? I guarantee you that list would go in half at least. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. So is that me saying that I'm better than him? I'm not saying I'm better than him. I'm just saying I'm better at that style when it comes to the full fighting scale. Mm-hmm. We're talking punch, kicks, takedown, all that. I can run my style just like your style better than you can. You can't run this and stop a takedown. You can't run and check a kick and fire back, and you're going to get taken down trying to shoulder roll and lean. I understand the holes to it. So I was able to perfect it better than he can run that game in the actual MMA fight. So for me, to call him was to say, let's see who's better at the style. And it's a respect factor. For one, it's a respect factor that he was disrespectful to me. 3, don't troll my sport. I shed my blood and my tears for this sport. And every man in here, that's why every man is feeling offended. I don't feel like boxers respect us. But if you put us in the streets with me and you're not going to hit me with one shot and think you're going to knock me out. I'll kill you. I'll strangle you out in the back of a parking lot and you'd be dead. You wouldn't survive with me, okay? It's a different story when we talk about full-on fighting, okay? So don't disrespect me or don't disrespect my sport. Don't troll my sport. If you're serious, then let us know. But I feel like he's kind of playing with it, you know? Like, I'm kind of doing it, I'm not going to do it, just to get someone to talk about you and bring you into this. Don't play with my sport. If you're going to do it right.
Bobby, when does this occur?
This occurred a couple years back. And so that's what I said. I never said anything. At Mayweather's gym. I never said anything about it. I was being quiet. I just told my homies, fuck this nigga. You know what I mean? On some personal shit. Like, hey, I don't fuck with him like that because he's not the guy y'all think he is. I got to see him straight to face. This is not the guy who I thought he was.
Can you finish the story, though? So you bowed, he looked through you, and then how did that end? Did you just turn around and leave, or was there anything else?
So I go to try to box this kid in the ring, and they won't let me box. And I understand why they didn't let me box. I didn't have the proper boxing equipment because I'm an MMA guy. I don't wear headgear. I don't wear that stupid boxing cup. I am a tough guy. I got in there with my nose ringing. I'll still box you with my nose ringing and stuff like I'm from the streets. I'm going to box you just like what I'm wearing now. I'll fight you just like this.
What does that mean, you'll box me with your nose ring?
Just like
your
this.
Nose ring. Okay.
Yes,
I get
just like this. I'll box with it on,
Uh-huh.
everything. I don't change nothing. I don't fight like this in the streets because I'm not finna go like, oh, I got to take off this and take off this to fight you. No, this is just how I am. We finna get down like this. You know what I'm saying? So,
But you
they got a
you
little
want,
weird.
You don't want to preserve the goal just in case
I don't
there's
give a fuck about
some
none of that.
sort of a rampage slam
This
or
is
something
bigger
like
than that. And that's when I got in the sport. When I first got in the sport, I was like, I was a tough guy. I remember telling myself this. I would fight you for 50 cents. I would tell guys that in the streets. I'll fight you for 50 cents. You give me 50 cents, I'll fight you. I don't care who you are, what size, doesn't matter, for 50 cents. Because really, it's about the idea that I'm challenging myself. And I got more out of the lesson of challenging a man and what I got out of that. The 50 cent was just the extra. That's just the extra. I'm getting something on top of that. So then when people brought fighting, like real fighting, I'm like, why not? If I would fight somebody for 50 cents, why not make $850 in Mexico where I used to fight somebody in Mexico? Oh, sure. And then, they gave me $1,000? I was going to fight for 50 cents? Why not make $1,000? I'm down with that, you know?
That situation could never be rectified. Like, if he were to say, you know what, I do remember that, and I was having a bad day, I apologize, Bobby, would that be good enough, or is it past that already?
I don't know. It depends on how I feel about that. You know what I mean? It just depends on how things go. If I really feel he's sincere about the situation or what, you know? That was an idol to me, and you're not gonna just play with me like that. Like, I don't know. I take shit seriously. I'm a real dude. I'm not this guy that doing shit for acts or play. I'm a real guy. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. I'm about entertainment. Like, my fights, I don't care about a belt. I don't care about any of that. Like, I just want to have exciting fights. I'm trying to get the bag and pay myself at the end of the day. But at the same time, I don't want to be known like – I want to be known like Ali. Not for being the greatest champ or being undefeated like a Mayweather, but known for having the greatest fights, known for having the greatest energy, for known for being the greatest person. You know what I mean? It's something bigger than fighting. Ali was bigger than boxing. You know what I mean? Just because every time you put a camera on him, he's like, oh, shit, you got to watch that guy. You never know what he's capable of, you know?
I want to stick with something, though, and I'm glad we get to talk to you in person because that way you can tell we're not trying to punk you on the phone or anything. But sticking with the Mayweather-style stuff, his style is considered a little boring for boxing, even though a sharp boxing enthusiast can go, wow, you know, he's really setting up his punches. He's great defensively. He doesn't get hit. Do you feel like you can make that style exciting for MMA?
Exactly. I take his same style, and my shows go.
Yeah.
I make everybody stand up on my shows. That's what I'm about.
I like the talking
Pumping
and everything.
These motherfuckers
up. But there's a lot of people that don't like it.
Yeah,
but I don't think
I got that for a while.
Right?
I got that for a while
Yeah.
with the antics. Like, so now I don't do too much talking. For that, I started reading some comics, and I started people. Okay, he's just a mouthpiece. Okay, well, the next
like
3
it,
fights,
though.
shut up.
I see.
Only say yes sir to my corner. Let them know that I hear you. I hear what you're calling, and that's it. I'm not even gonna say anything anymore. I haven't did talking like that in the last 2 fights because for that reason, you guys think I'm just gonna talk. I'm ready to scrap.
You know, when you started the Mayweather point, you said, I'm glad you asked that question because now I have a time to actually explain it. A lot of times people will take what fighters say. You don't have very much time sometimes after a fight. You know, it's a couple minutes with Joe or even in the back, a couple minutes. I noticed that you have kind of shied away from doing media in the last couple years. We used to talk to you a long time ago, and it seemed like you kind of went into a little bit of a shell. Can you kind of explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm very like that. The DS is like that. We don't want y'all in our business. I don't want no fucking guy following me around trying to ask me for an interview and tell me this. I don't want that. I don't want to feel like somebody's trying to promote me and make me feel all big and shit. Like, I'm not big-headed like that. I need somebody to promote me. I told Ariel Helwani, he's like, we got in an argument, and he's like, I'm giving you this coverage. I'm giving you all this. You're not giving me shit, bro. I don't need none of that, okay? I stand on my own, too. Who I am is who I am. I don't need none of this, okay? After I walk away from MMA, I'm still going to be Bobby Green after this shit is over, okay? So none of this shit means nothing to me. Back to what you were saying. To me, it's more of a standing on who you believe you are. I don't want to do interviews for that reason. Like, I haven't did interviews since Ariel. for a whole year for that show them that reason. I don't need any of this attention. Attention's not cool to me. Like, attention's just something that gets you more shit talked about and more people in your business. And I don't want you in my business. I just want to fight you motherfuckers. That's it. I don't need to be out here and talking, and all that stuff is extra talk. It's extra. Fight me. That's it. We came to see some great fights. All the talking and stuff, that's cool, but that's extra. You know?
can appreciate, though, the build-up for a fight, though, right?
Yeah,
and so for that,
I believe in promoting the fight.
The
I believe in promoting, and that's a whole nother story. When you have a fight and you're promoting something, you know, but promotion is different from clickbait. Promotion is different from clickbait, you know, where we're just like, oh, click this, he said this, you know. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for good energy, show someone a good sport, excitement, just different energy,
Gotcha. All right. Bobby Green, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. Let me tell you what else is on tap for today. Marlon Moraes will join us in about 10 minutes. He's got a fight coming up against Jimmy Rivera. Still might have one more guest towards the end of the show. We have plenty of time to catch up here with Bobby Green, who we've known for a long time. He's from the SoCal area like we are. And we invite you to call in, 866-522-2846.
Call me now. Call me now.
We also have our daily debate to do, as well as touch on the latest news. I think we should take an early break right now. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. Stay close, and we will be right back.
motherfucker. That Kelly Love.
Charm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Folks, check out First Wave, which is channel 33, if you like 80s channel. Richard Blade kicks ass on that. And on Saturday nights, you got to check out Bueller. Yeah, he spins for 8 hours straight. So if you ever want to go back to the 80s and hear some great remixes, check out channel 33. It's at 8 Eastern, and he goes for 8 straight hours on Saturday nights. His name's Bueller, but that's Richard Blade's channel. And
is he playing that Cali Love right now?
No, that's Danny, our producer. He's playing Cali Love. Yeah.
Shit. CA.
That comes from a listener in Australia who asked if he could pick the music for one day. So he's a big fan, so we let him pick.
He's a big Bobby Green fan or a Cali fan or what fan?
Tupac.
Tupac, yeah, that's what's in.
Well, big fan of the show.
You remember they call me Tupac? They call me the Tupac of MMA.
Do they?
Yeah. I'm like, what the? I get every black guy in the game. I've been called Rampage, Rashad, Tupac. Only person I haven't got was John Jones because I ain't tall enough.
Yeah. They call me No Pack.
Or I ain't got no hair.
When I lift up my shirt, I got No Pack.
Yeah. No Pac.
All right, we will be talking to Marlon Moraes in just a few minutes. In the meantime, let's take this call. It's from the 310. Junkie Radio, who do you got? Who's this? Hello, who's this?
He looked like he got some energy from me. I can already tell, but what's up? Let's see what this is.
They panicked and hung up.
Oh, shit.
I heard in the background they listen to the show, too. They listen to the show.
Yeah, he's on.
Call back, caller.
We got him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But, all right, so, Bobby, one thing we always ask our in-studio guests if they can share a good street fight story.
A good street fight story?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. Let me see what I can come up with. Because I got a lot of fight stories, but let me see. Okay, I used to work at the strip club. And
in SoCal?
Yeah, down in SoCal. It's a little strip club I used to work at, do little side gigs and stuff for. Some nights you just have those nights where it's just that night and it's cracking off. You know, you might have some gangsters come in, they got their whole gang in there, you know, and shit pops off. So one night, it's one of those nights, my boy's like, hey, be on guard. Let's look like it's going to go down. Two guys get into it.
What was your job? To check IDs or something like that, or?
I was doorman.
Okay.
I check all the IDs and stuff like that. Pat everybody down. Make sure we don't got nothing in the club. So that night it cracks off between two guys and two strippers, and it just turned that into a whole club fight. And I just remember like being like, holy shit, there's fucking glasses being thrown, there's fucking chairs. And I was just so like, I ain't gonna lie, I was fucking scared. You don't know who's what, who got what. I just started grabbing guys and fucking choking them. And as soon as I feel him limp, all right, he's limp, throw him down, next person. Grab this motherfucker, choke him, all right, he's limp, all right, another fucker, all right, I had like 4 or 5 motherfuckers down. And it's just fucking nuts. So I remember grabbing one guy and another guy grabbed me, and we both go down. And in the midst of going down,
you took someone's back and someone took your back.
Yeah. Yes. So in the midst of that, we're going down. I turn around and I get around to him. And I elbow him. Bow! Drop an elbow on him. He's done. This guy's done. Get back up. It's just fucking crazy. Everybody's just going at it, left and right. So we finally get it all diffused out. We get the guys out. Some guys are still on the ground trying to wake up. You know, it's just fucking pandemonium. But that's most times hits off, especially in those club scenes. You don't know who has guns. Their cars maybe 15 feet away. You can run to your car, go get your gun. We've had situations like that too. So in situations like that, you just got to do the best you can to protect yourself and watch your back. And sometimes you can't even watch your back. I'm attacking a guy and another guy's attacking me. You never know what happens. So that was one of the situations.
And so why would 2 guys fight 2 strippers? If anything, when I go, I'm trying to get a lap dance.
No. The strippers are getting into it with each other. You know, like a caddy thing, like a girlfriend.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? A girlfriend that's got into it with the stripper. They're boxing each other, and now their man's getting into it with this bar guy.
Why bring her if she's going to cause trouble?
Man, alcohol does something to people. Alcohol does something to people. That's why I don't drink for that reason. Alcohol does something.
So your final stats were 6 subs and an elbow knockout?
I think it was 4 subs and an elbow knockout that night. It was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did they go home and retaliate, or did it kind of end there?
That's a whole other thing. Like, I always got to be like, fuck, these guys are good. Because at that point in time, there has never been one black staff in that entire club ever. So I'm the only black guy with a tattooed head It's hard. You can't miss me in my city.
Where was this?
You can't miss me.
Irvine or something? Or
No, this was in Colton.
Colton.
Yeah, I mean, so it's right in my area. You can't miss me. And I always got to think about that. Like, some of these guys I beat up, or, that's some time where I had to fight 2 guys at once.
215 in Barton? That one off the
You know
freeway?
exactly where we at. No, not the 215.
Not that one?
No.
Okay.
This is fantasy. It's a little bit around the corner from that.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right, right now we got to talk to Marlon Moraes for just a second. He is going to be fighting Jimmy Rivera at UFC Fight Night 131. It takes place on June 1st, and he joins us now on MMA Junkie Radio. What's up, Marlon? How you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you. Very happy with the opportunity, and just can't wait for June, I'm enjoying the preparation, and I can't wait to get there and get this victory,
Yeah, we talked to Jimmy Rivera about a week ago, and we asked him that you two guys were kind of talking to each other on Twitter back in December, so we thought the fight was going to happen sooner, but now it is going to happen on June 1st. Did you have any opportunities to take any other fights in between December and now, or were you really just focused on Jimmy Rivera and making that one happen?
No, I kept asking for fights, but Jim was one of the names, but I end up working out the date for him and for the UFC in June, supposed to fight earlier, but I don't know why. He got some issues, and we're going to end up fighting now June 1st.
You came over from World Series of Fighting with a world title as being their champion with many title defenses. You dropped your first UFC fight, but then you beat Dodson and Sterling back-to-back. Now, that division, right now you have the champion with Dillashaw and guys like Rivera, yourself, Cruz, Garbrandt, a few others, Asuncao also tracking down the champion. Where do you feel like you fit right now and with a win over Rivera?
Man, I don't care about the division. I just care about this fight. I just want to get out there June 1st in the best shape of my life, well training, outskill this guy, and win this fight. I think for me now, beat this guy and win this. My next fight is the most important thing for me, in my career.
Mm-hmm. So you're not one of those guys that obsesses over the belt.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it now, we got it step by step, The reality for me now is my next fight is my opponent, and I'm living this, I'm living what I have now. I don't want to keep dreaming something that I still got to work for, and I just gotta get the victory and solidify myself as one of the best in the division and in the promotion. And the future, we never know what's going to happen. But I love to fight, I want to keep fighting. I want to keep busy. And winning this fight, it's another reason to keep myself busy.
One more thing before I turn it over to the guys. We haven't talked to you, I don't believe, since your Sterling knockout. I just got to tell you, man, that was something else.
Nasty.
That was a great KO. And, I mean.
He dabbed on the way down.
It's going to be hard to top that one. But, since we haven't talked to you since then, just congratulations on that and the fact that you fought 2 fights so close together. A lot of fighters aren't able to pull that off, and you were, and that was very risky. And so, as a member of the media who also doubles as a fan, I just got to tell you, man, much respect for that 30-day run you had.
Shout out to Marlon.
Man, like I told you guys, man, as soon as I'm not injured, I'm gonna keep fighting, and I'm gonna keep asking the UFC to put me to fight, Mm-hmm. And that was a great opportunity. I just had a couple injuries, my hand and my foot wasn't 100%, but I took the fight, I knew I could make it, I make through the small injuries, a little bit pain, but I fought through, and I was able to show up that night, and I was feeling good, I felt that I could perform, and it was a great fight, the game plan was keep fighting, push the pace, and fight whatever the fight goes. I know Sterling is a good wrestler, he grapples well, but I wasn't scared of that, I was going to take it, every opportunity he was going to give to me, and I was able to land a good shot as he came it in. I land a kick, but on the middle of the kick he shoots, so he meets with my knee, and that was a good knockout for me, you know.
Yeah, as solid as they come. Marlon Moraes, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. All right, let me introduce the rest of the cast. My co-host, Goes, Dan Tom, our fight analyst, and we also have UFC lightweight Bobby Green here in studio with us. All right, Goes, you lead things off. What do you have for Marlon Moraes?
Marlon, looking at your fight record, and every fight we see a little bit of an improvement in your game. You show a new wrinkle, something new that you've learned. My question for you is, right now, do you feel like you are in your prime, or have you not even entered that yet?
No, I think now I'm on my prime, man. I've been in the game for a long time. I've been competing kickboxing since I was young, you know, jiu-jitsu, MMA. And I feel like I got a good experience. I'm not a prospect anymore, you know. I feel I'm a long time on the game. And, man, I can't wait to showcase June 1st and perform, you know, and go out there and, like you just said, keep showing everything I've been learning. And actually, I know, but it's just a matter of putting that and get to work and do in the cage, you know. And I think I feel confident now, and I'm 100% sure June 1st is going to be my best performance.
That's what's up.
We spoke to Jimmy Rivera, and I asked him this question, so I'll ask you the same question. But basically I said, I know there's a little heat in the fight, but you guys are going to fight, and when that's done, do you feel like all that beef will get squashed that night? Will you guys be able to shake hands afterwards?
I don't know, you know, I'm a professional. I'm going that professionally, but I want to win, you know, and I'm doing everything I can to get better, to get prepared, and he better do the same, you know. If he don't do the same, he's not gonna have what he wants, you know. He thinks he can beat me, but he knows I'm better than him, and June 1st I'm gonna beat this guy.
Our fight analyst, Dan Tom's got a couple for you. Dan, what do you have for Marlon?
Hey, Marlon, I was just curious, you know, about the residency. Obviously, we know you're down there training, you know, Ricardo Almeida of Jiu-Jitsu with, you know, the New Jersey company there, Frankie Edgar, everybody down there and all that. But, you know, when your career is over, or, you know, maybe not when your career is over, but toward the end, you know, obviously you want to become the best, you have your goals. But do you ever see yourself going back to Brazil, or are you staying here with your family in the United States?
Yeah, I don't know yet, you know, we never know. I have kids now, and I have my son, and we never know what's going to be the best for him, for his future. In Brazil, it's hard, you know, it's getting harder. I'm from Rio, and the violence is crazy, you know. You can't even walk in the street anymore. So I don't know if that's what I want for my son, you know. I think I want him to have opportunities that I never had before. But my parents are there, you know. They're getting old. I miss them. I miss my friends. And for me, America, it's business. I'm here 365 days a year. I'm focused on the fighting, you know. And when I go to Brazil, I got to chill. I got to see my family, my friends. And I got friends here. I love everybody. But I still miss Brazil a lot. But we will see, man, how things go. And we never know. I can say I won't come back, but we never know, man. It's a big possibility that I can stay for my family, you know, for my son to have what I never had before.
You know, and the sacrifices you make for your family. Obviously, all fighters fight for their family and have to make sacrifices and have their own deals. But you know, you hear a lot of that with the Brazilian fighters as far as bringing their family to America and how that goes with your goals to be a fighter. So, Marlon, when you go in there and fight, is part of you, you know, part of you feel like you're representing your family in there as well? That you know you're fighting for their sacrifices in training camp as well as yours?
I think so, man, 100%. I did a lot for my family, you know. I've been on the show with you guys before, and I've been telling you guys what I done. But I feel like now, you know, it's to myself, you know. I got to chase my dreams, you know. And, of course, I fight for money. I fight to feed my son. I fight to help and support my family. But the main thing in my mind is the gold. But the gold is not the gold, the money, you know. The gold that shines in my mind is that goal to be a winner, you know, to be a champion. This is what feeds me more, you know. I'm very hungry, and I know I can get there, you know. It's just a matter of time and opportunity.
Marlon Moraes fighting Jimmy Rivera on June 1st at UFC Fight Night 131 in Utica, New York. These are bantamweights. Marlon's a former champion at World Series of Fighting. And like I mentioned earlier, he's coming off a vicious KO over Aljamain Sterling the fight took place in Fresno in late December. Now, Bobby Green is here with us. He's a UFC lightweight. He sounded like he was a big fan of that KO.
Yeah,
Bobby,
Marlon.
you have something for Marlon?
How you doing, bro?
Hey, very good. I'm a big fan of this guy, man. This guy is one of the most entertaining guys that I see in the cage, you know.
Man, I'm honored. That's dope, man. I was gonna tell you, I was there the night that you beat what's his name? Shaman Morales. Shaman, is it Shaman?
Yeah.
Moraes,
yeah. I was actually backstage and I saw you coming. I knew you were gonna be a rising star. I was like, this kid's on another level. So here comes my question.
Thank you, man.
You got into the UFC. It's your big debut. You're fighting Rafael Sunsao. I don't want to bring up anything bad, but I do want to hear what you were feeling. What happened in that fight? Was there anything different in that fight than all your other ones? Because I feel like you've hit a new you now, where I think maybe you had a little bit maybe jitters in that first fight coming into the UFC. Did you feel like you were feeling weird or anything?
I didn't feel weird, you know. We are fighters. We know how MMA bout is and how a street fight is. I've been in fights before, and if you don't have that feeling, you know, you gotta be a little bit. You gotta fear a little bit, you know, feeds you. And I felt like I was going to do something that I was going to make it, you know. I was going out there. I was going to perform and win the fight. I had the opportunity to train with Rafael before, and I think that didn't help me at all. You know, I should do more. I should risk more. I should to fight angry, and I should to go like a little bit more for the kill. You know, I think that's what I lost. You know, that what I missed that night. You know, I gotta be honest with you. That was the same. That was a cage in the middle. A lot of people watching, another guy fighting, but I didn't feel like people say, oh, that's UFC, Jiros. I don't know, you know, I can't say what happened, but I felt weird, you know, but that's not excuse. Rafael is a good fighter as well. He's a counter fighter, you know, he waits a lot, so makes it a little bit hard. He's not an easy guy to beat.
He's bringing up a big point. Big point. He said counter fighters. I feel like, so let me ask you this question, Marlon, because I did the same thing with Barbosa, where you're pushing the fight and you got a guy just counting or waiting on you more so, and you feel like there's not going to be a fight unless you push. It sounds like you're saying that.
Yeah, man. When you fight somebody like that, you just got to push him beyond his face, and that's what I missed that fight, you know. And I gotta be honest, I like to watch the way you fight and how you break guys. You know, the last fight you fought Eric Folk, and the first fight, I think you felt that you were getting tagged more, but you knew you were going to break him, and that's what happened in the last 2 rounds.
Yes, sir.
And I think me as a fighter, as a professional, I love to watch guys that show me things that I gotta get better and I gotta learn. And I took a lot from your fight with him.
Oh, man, God bless you. God bless you. I really appreciate that. So that's just one thing I like to point out to the audience or people that are fans of MMA is that there is no fight unless I push sometimes. Because I felt like Barbosa was running from me, and I didn't, like, I started seeing the crowd starting to boo. Uh-oh, I'm getting a bad show. So if I don't push this fight, there is no fight and we're going to get booed. So he's not trying to fight. He's just okay with it being boring. He's okay with that. I'm not okay with the bad show. So it forces me to push the action, which is actually getting me to get caught more because he's just waiting on me to counter. See what I'm saying? And sometimes that fighter that pushes the fight loses in a split decision like you got here with Asasao. And I'm like, they don't give enough credit to the guy who pushes the fight. You know, there's no fight without me pushing it. And that's how you get a split decision. I'm going, well, this is the only time that he's ever had a loss. This guy has been killing it for so long. Yeah, what happened here?
He won like 13 straight, then took that loss, then 2 more. So
like
15 out of his last 16.
Nobody's giving the guy the credit for being the pusher. He's pushing the fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, this guy's waiting on me. Who's really fighting?
Yeah, but we gotta understand it and take it. You know, I took it as a man, and I admit I could do more. And let's go, man. You know, God knows everything. He has a plan for every one of us. And it's just a matter of belief. You got to believe yourself and believe you can get back and win the next bout, you know.
So my next question is this. You win this fight. You were, I don't know. I know the UFC does it like if you win in big fashion, it puts you up into a bigger category. Say you just win the fight. Do you feel that you need to fight a bigger name to get that title shot? or do you think that you're deserving of it? If you win, if you beat Jimmy.
I just want to be busy, man. I want to keep fighting. That's
Same
it.
here. I feel you, bro. I'm that same way. I just want to fight.
Yeah,
I'm not even care about the title. I just want to fight and show that I'm good.
I hate to look back and see I fought like my next fight June 1st and my last one was like 5-6 months ago. You know.
You want to be that active, huh?
Hurts my feeling. You know. I want to fight every 3-4 months.
Okay, he wants to be that active every 3-4 months.
Yeah.
That's what the fans want too, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, I
he's
appreciate
fun
a guy
to
that
watch.
appreciate a guy that comes out like that, especially when you're giving us good footage, good fights. You know.
All right.
Thank you, Marlon. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Marlon, that was a great interview, man.
No, nice talk with you, man.
We like catching up with you, you know that, and we appreciate the time. So thanks for joining us here on MMA Junkie Radio, and good luck with your camp for that fight on June 1st versus Jimmy Rivera at UFC Fight Night 131.
Man.
Thank you all for the talk, you know, and I'm gonna be prepared, and Jim better be ready, you know. He better think about Marlon Moraes. His opponent, it's Marlon Moraes. It's not anybody else, you know. The talk is over now. You gotta get ready and perform June 1st, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Right on, my man. All right, take care. We'll see you soon.
And see, you hear that way he's talking? That's the words of a true killer. The words of a true killer. You know, sometimes we're just
cool that
talking.
He knew your Coke fight, huh?
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, paying attention.
He's paying
attention.
I was sitting back going, wow, these fighters kind of know the game pretty good.
Fighters, you mean analysts? These guys just had a Fox. If the Fox desk is watching, to get Bobby Green or Marlon Moraes on there, they just did some great breakdowns for the audience there. That was a treat.
So what was I gonna say? Back to my point. He's saying this is gonna be a good fight, and I can look forward to that. Some guys are just talking to promote a fight, and then they get out there and they waste their time. I know when some certain fighters say they're going to give you this, you're going to get exactly what they said you're going to get, you know, and holding by your word. Giving out what my next point, what I was going to say, the main word of the day, G shit. Being out there and being a real G, you know, like people say like your style and how I do my things. I just want to be a G. I want to be able to just like, damn, who else is going to do those things like that, you know, to be able to walk in fires that most men can't walk in, to do things that most men wouldn't do.
Yep.
And that's my big thing. And I think Marlon is a great guy like that. He's taking on anybody you put in front of him. He's a G.
He sounded dialed in, didn't he, Bobby? Like this.
He's ready. I can hear it in his voice. He's ready. He knows it's his time.
We need a word graphic for a word of the day. G shit. That would be a great word
G
graphic.
shit. And everybody thinks like I'm talking like some gangster shit. I'm not talking about no gangster shit at all. No gangsters, blood, crip, none of that stuff like that. I'm talking about being a man and doing things that most men can't do. You know, that sets you apart from the other man. You're a G. You know, that's a G.
All right, we got you. I like that G shit. All right, we're gonna take our next break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. That was Marlon Moraes, and a big shout out to Ali and Dan for setting that up. So stay close. We'll be right back. We got Bobby Green in the house.
Sonny Lies and a little boy named Corinne.
They taught Andy Griffith how to whistle. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
The Final Four is on SiriusXM. ESPNU Radio's live coverage from San Antonio continues at noon Eastern with play-by-play starting at 6 Eastern on Channel 84 and on the SiriusXM app. That same SiriusXM app houses the MMA Junkie Radio Show, commercial-free and in HD quality. Today we have a special treat. We have UFC lightweight Bobby Green here in studio with us.
Listen to
talking
that dear
about
mama.
everything from
if I had a mama.
From certain bars located in Colton to the fight game to Affliction fights to future fights to talking to Marlon Moraes. It's been a fun first hour, and we still got one more hour to go.
You know, I took that Affliction fight on 24 hours notice.
Yeah, I remember.
I was literally at a job working in a warehouse, and they asked me to do that fight. I left and quit that job right there.
Did you?
I looked at the camera. I was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Peace.
Why did you need to quit the job, though? You could be there the following Monday, right? You just needed a day off?
This is my time where I said, I'm doing this full time. My coach has been asking me for so long.
Okay.
My coach has been asking me to drop working and doing this stuff. I was like, man, I don't know where this is going. I don't trust this, and I'm not going to give my job up. And then they got that call. I was like, I'm going to make $3 grand to show, $3 grand to win. Or I think it was 6 or some shit like that. It's like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Quit this job, I'm out.
Now, could you have also just said, I'm going to leave this job. Perhaps we can do business together in the future and not burn that bridge?
Yes, but on me,
Okay.
too. It's just more so like I'm going my way. I'm doing this my way, and they're all still my friends to this day. They understand where I was coming from. Like they're still good guys and stuff. I still talk to anybody I fuck with from day one. I'm never changed. I'm still the same person. So they're all good guys. I just was being me.
No, yeah, that's taking us back in time a whole decade. Those Affliction shows were in 07 and 08.
Yeah.
And they were
Fucking
some great
Josh
shows.
Barnett
man.
ruined that shit for us, bro. Josh Barnett popping. All these guys popping these drugs, they ruined it for us. And I don't want to put no dirt on his name, but that was an opportunity for us.
Well, you're right. There was a pre-fight test that let me see if my memory's correct. It was pre-fight, and he wasn't cleared, and he was in the main event versus Fedor Emelianenko.
Yep.
And so Affliction 3 never happened. Tom Atencio, who was on our show, went into detail about this about 5 years ago. But anyway, that never happened. But let me tell you something. When Affliction first had their shows, I thought, okay, they're paying these guys some pretty good dough.
Yeah.
But they're going to have a band? What the fuck? Why are they going to have a band, right? I wasn't feeling it. I didn't understand it. But then they had a little bit of what Pride did. The guys came out on a stage. That was cool.
I thought they did a good promotion in terms of that.
I, man. I really liked that. They signed some good names. And then, believe it or not, and I'm not no rock and roll fan or whatever it's called. It was Metallica, right?
No, it was Megadeth, I think.
Megadeth. Was it?
Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Megadeth.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and the same way some shows, not the UFC, but some shows do have an intermission at times. That was their intermission. And next thing you know, the audience was into it, and I was kind of into it. I was like, okay, this wasn't so bad. And then all of a sudden, we resumed. We had more fights. Now, I don't remember if that's the same fight that also cost them on their pay-per-view for Jay Haran to fight post-Slim. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, but that was a brutal knockout. That was over Jason High.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's when that took place or not. But I just remember walking out of there going, man, Affliction, hats off. You guys did 2 awesome shows.
Yeah.
People were into Fedor and his walkout, and the Russian people were there. And it was classic, man.
Yeah, Fedor's a great guy. I got to meet him. I got to meet Orlovsky, all these different guys that were legends. And I'm just coming in here, a guy off the streets, coming out of a fucking warehouse, and I'm meeting all these superstars. So it was dope.
Yeah. What was it like? A forklift driver, shipping and receiving?
Forklift driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did that once too. I did that for
receiving.
about.
I can run anything in a warehouse. I can run any machine in a warehouse. I've run every job under the sun doing in warehouses. Like I can manage a warehouse if I wanted to.
Why is that trash compactor so dangerous? Like, why do so many accidents? Isn't it pretty easy? Just don't put yourself inside and everything will be good.
You would think so.
Why are there so many accidents with that?
Some guys, I think it's some other things guys are doing. They're too tired or not paying enough attention.
You know that little sticker that says how many days without an accident?
Yeah. We used to have that all the time.
Have you ever been the cause of them having to pull that number?
No. Actually, one time, one time I did. I'm not going to fucking lie. I fucked up. So we were working for Walmart at the time.
Tell us that story in just a second. We got to do this quick break here at the top of the hour, and then we'll hear Bobby Green's story, and then I got a couple stories to share. One of them, because I watched on HBO the show with Brian Gumbel. What's it called?
Real Sports?
Real
Real Sports.
Yeah, it has to do with baseball and foul balls and how they hurt more people than we think they do. Some people
Yeah,
got
they just
really,
don't put the camera on it.
yeah.
people got fucked up, lost their vision and whatever. And so I'll tell you one about that. And I did work in the warehouse, so Bobby and I will share our stories. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM. Rush 93. Stay real close, and we will be right back with more entertainment.
Yeah, that.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Oh, hell no.
Now, I ain't saying she a
So,
gold digger.
Hang on one second.
But she ain't messing with no broke. Get down, girl, gon' ahead, get down. Get down, girl, gon' ahead.
Are you
get
fucking
down.
serious?
That's better than Kanye. Not even that far off.
Ja Rule?
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Goes is trying to pin something on Bobby Green. That does not look like Bobby Green.
But you just said he looked like Kanye.
We finna get into it. This motherfucker said I look like Ja Rule.
Tell me what up, my baby.
Oh, my mama.
I had to find a specific Ja Rule.
Oh, my mama.
You can't, like, not the normal Ja Rule. Like, that doesn't look like him.
You got a Ja Rule impression, Bobby?
George, this is Kanye West. He does not look like Kanye.
Well, for one, okay, Ja
Yeah.
Rule. So you're a darker skinned brother, and that's a lighter skinned brother. And so for one, starting with that. Two, you didn't look like him.
Shit.
You telling me he looks like him?
Thank you. Fuck. Even Kanye?
Right here.
Fuck.
Up there. I told him, I go, he's got to grow a little bit of a beard, but it's not that far off. Damn, Tom.
You motherfuckers are silly with this shit.
Which
Oh,
one?
my God.
What do you want me to say? Who's closer?
Yeah.
There, or
Alright.
show him your jaw.
Okay.
Rule.
So that's
All right,
that.
okay.
What the fuck is this shit? Guess what black guy he is?
Dude, they're going to do me next. It's not me any better. It's be
I
Asian
went
guy.
with,
Holy shit.
Which one did I pick?
That one.
The rule, baby.
No, it wasn't that one. I think I picked this one.
Hey,
Oh,
what was that
oh,
one? Goes
shit.
with something else.
Yeah, I got a guy.
Closer to Kanye, right?
Yeah, at the
You
risk
motherfuckers are
at the risk of
this
sounding
shit is
racist.
lame as
but
shit.
yeah.
Let's just
All
fucking
right.
cut this shit off right now. This is lame as fuck.
All right, so right now,
Shit.
what we are going to do is, come on in, Michael Sanchez, before you ruin the video. This is one of our friends, Michael Sanchez. Hang out. Now's a good time to do the duck, right? Before we start
Dip under the camera.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. He's getting married
Big
this
Mike,
weekend.
Big Mike, congratulations.
Yeah. When's the
Hey,
official?
he's from SoCal too.
When's the
What's up?
official? No, he's from Central Cali, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. When do you? Saturday. Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Where you guys get married at?
Nice knowing you, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it, man. He's getting married. He's done. All right, so it's time for our daily debate. So I'm going to give you guys our poll question that we do every weekday, so prior to the show. And we leave our question up there for at least an hour for you all to vote on. And so far, 594 people voted for today's question, and it is the following. Do you think Vitor Belfort will actually retire for good after his UFC 224 bout versus Lyoto Machida? Dan Tom, what do you think is going to happen on this one?
Man, I'm just thinking about his fight versus Trey Telligman to UFC 224. I got to imagine he's got to retire after that, right? You've got a classic fight against another Brazilian, another big name. What left does he have to prove? I'm running out of options here. I wouldn't mind if he did retire. Yeah.
Goes?
I think at this point in his career, he's cashing a lot of big checks. And like Dan said, you go all the way back to those early days, he was doing the same thing, fighting, not making as much money. Sometimes fighters try and make up for that. Cashing a big check like this, I would say if he won easily, we could probably see him come back and try and do that again. If he won but took some damage, that might just be enough to say, you know what, I'm done. So, but I would lean towards, I don't think it's his last fight.
What do you think, Bobby Green?
You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I remember one time I came in the room and I had my music blasting, I had some rap music blasting, and Vitor was in the room. And Vitor sat me down and had a conversation with me. He was like, listen, that's not good music. That's not of God. You know, like, God's not with that. You know, I'm like, okay, I can understand that. I'm a man of God, and I respect where you're coming from. But fuck you, Vitor. You're a fucking cheater, and get the fuck out of our sport. Just call it like it is. Bisbing has called it, Mr. Dad Bod. Those guys got to go. If you're going to disrespect our sport, you can go. I can't wait for him to leave. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect no Brazilians, nobody else like that. But, hey, you're going to cheat? Get the fuck out of here, okay? You're never going to catch me on a PED. And so all these guys, I'm sorry, Anderson, Lyoto, Vitor, the Brazilian list, I'm sorry you guys are putting bad stuff on y'all names, you know what I mean? Like, don't disrespect the Brazilians. Like, I love Brazilians, but shout out to the Brazilians that's doing it right. But if you're getting called on some drugs, you're disrespecting your name, you lied. Anderson is considered the greatest of all time. I took that away from him once I figured that out. I'm like, how long you been cheating? Was this all this? Is that why you knocked Forrest out with a backwards jab? And what the heck is this? What's going on? It takes away from your legacy, you know, and that's how I feel. You know, you can't respect that. That's not real to me. It's not real. So,
do you think that'll be his final fight, though, in regards to
I can't wait for it to be his final fight. I don't even want to have a chance. I don't even want to look at that kid no more. I'm sorry. I'm with Bisbing on it. We don't respect cheaters. You're going to cheat, get out of here. I'm sorry. I don't even want to watch. I won't even watch the fight.
All right. Now, the question specifies for good.
For good.
So I believe it'll be his last fight
Please.
in the UFC versus Lyoto Machida. But like Goz said, a lot of these fighters get offered a lot of money, and there's a lot of other promotions worldwide, and I feel like one of those will tempt Vitor back. So, therefore, we won't see him retire for good, but I think that'll be his last UFC fight. And there's your daily debate for today, brought to you by the MMA Junkie Radio team. All right, continuing on. You had a good story to share regarding the warehouse or forklifts.
Oh, man, bro, that's so news. I don't know if I want to talk about it. It's whatever.
Not that good?
Yeah, just forget it. Stupid shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Not 10
So
years hasn't passed yet on
I'll
that
skip
one,
mine, too, because now that I think about it, I think I've shared it before. And but it was a friend of mine who there's forklifts that you drive, and the forks are in the front, and then there's pickers that they're called, where you're standing on them, and the forks are behind you. And so we had a warehouse that would go really high, like up to 4 or 5 stories, I guess you'd call it. So one of my buddies, Big Hector, I used to call him, he got into like lifting a little bit, so he was all proud. And one of those days, I had raised my forklift about the size of 6'4", I'd say, because he was about 6 feet. And so he just came up and he was asking me, hey, let's go grab some lunch. And I go, I'm almost done with this order. He goes, all right. And then he just kind of jumps up, grabs the forks, starts doing pull-ups. He goes, yeah, I'm getting my buff on, you know. So then me, like a jackass, I hit the button. I go up.
Oh, shit.
And these things rise fast. And I think in his mind he thought, oh, shit, he's either going to put me down or Machismo's not going to let me go. But it didn't occur to me, like, a guy can only hang on so long, too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I raised that thing real high, you know, and he starts telling me in Spanish, put me down, puta, you know? And I'm like, ah, come on, what happened to the power, you know? And he goes, oh, come on, my arms are starting to burn. But I think panic was setting in. And I go, ah, come on. And so I jerked it a couple times.
Oh.
And he goes, ah, like that, you know? And it probably would have been a 2-story drop, which is not good.
Fuck.
And so I go, all right, you know? And I started to go down. Then I went back up. And then I went down.
Shit.
And he was hanging on, dude. You could tell at the very end. And then he just kind of let go. And I also had to be careful. I go, let go, you know? So he just dropped a couple feet. Because I also didn't want to make sure the fork smashed him.
Yeah.
So he always reminds me of it, and it was a good laugh. But to think of if I had just jerked it too hard, and all of a sudden he fell and he broke his leg. I mean, fuck.
Were you doing something when your shit was up there that high? Because you know you can get your ass fired for some shit like that. You're not supposed to have your forks off like
no,
they're supposed to be on the ground at all times unless you are working.
No, the whole picker goes up. Oh yeah, we were working. You were allowed to it allowed us to have a big warehouse. Different stories, and I was just grabbing orders, filling up the box because that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying your fork's supposed to be on the ground until you're moving something. You're telling me you got it at 6 feet around this motherfucker, and he can grab your shit.
Right.
Apparently, there's something not going on right here.
Yeah, it's a different type of forklift where the whole picker would rise as high as you wanted it. So it went up with the pallet, and that way you could have a bigger and higher warehouse. Bigger warehouse.
I'm following that part. I'm just saying the part where he's able to grab onto your forks. Is this in the time of operating, or are you just riding around the warehouse with your forks up, which is illegal?
There was no pallet, and because the forks were empty.
Okay.
And so I think I just had a quick order that I needed to go. But it was just something that we didn't use often. It was at the very top. And so he just happened to walk up and just start doing pull-ups. He thought I was doing something. And,
okay.
I think he was going to do 2 or 3. And I
There's
think
not much of a grip, though. Like, a lot of it's his
So you're telling me that you were filling the order out and you left your forks up there, and then he went and
got
his ass up there.
They go up with me. Yeah, no, they were at about 6'4", so I'm at that level, and I'm standing there doing my order.
You're still missing the point. You
Bobby's
left your forks up there.
Yep.
You're not supposed to do that.
No, they go up with you. There was no other choice for the fork. The forks don't stay below. They go up with the picker.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm following you.
Yeah, I'll have to show you later on, but basically the whole picker rises, and so the forks go with you. Mm-hmm. But I think what I thought when I was up there was that it wasn't as high. But then when we went back after we finished laughing and he got pissed at me, we looked at it. We was like, dude, you took it this high. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I realized we could have got hurt.
Wow.
Now, here's another story. Yesterday we were watching Real Sports, and they were talking about in baseball
You're talking
parks,
about the forklifts that come with the forks on the back end that layers us up that way. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the other the sit-downs.
No, it's different from the sit-down.
Yeah. Okay.
So in baseball, on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, I really enjoy that. And they had a special on baseball. Yesterday was opening day, and they're extending the netting all the way down the foul territory because a lot of people have been getting hurt from these foul balls.
Yeah.
And I know it comes with a ticket, and Major League Baseball teams cannot get sued. But even though people are suffering anything from concussions to broken orbitals.
I was going to say, did you hear about the fucking broken bat? The guy smacked the fucking, like, he hits a foul ball or something, cracks the bat, and the bat goes out and hits a woman. You know what I mean? And I think that was the final one, like, hey, this shit is getting out of hand.
It is.
You know?
So they did that, and starting this year, you know, Major League ballparks should be a little bit safer. Now, it's not all the way, and I'm sure a baseball can still hurt somebody, but at least a lot of those slicers, those line drives will maybe get caught by the fencing. So it's funny because they went in there and they had a pitching machine and had someone sit behind a shield just to see what people's reactions would be like. And I told Juliet, my girlfriend, we were sitting there watching, I go, I have a story for you. And she goes, what? She goes, I was at an Angel game, and I was tucked in underneath the terrace above us. So this was like the perfect angle. But I was at an Angel game, and someone sliced a foul ball, and I'm sitting, Goes is me, and I'm my buddy Sammy the Squid, right? All Sammy the Squid did, because as we were talking, home plate was to the right of Goes. So as Goes is talking to me, he's forced to look at me. He's not looking at home plate. I'm Sammy the Squid. As I'm talking to Goes, I can see home plate.
Yeah.
The ball slices. All Sammy the Squid does is go like this. He taps me and goes like that and points. No, like duck or look out.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, nothing. He just went like that, right? So now I'm me. Okay, I'm no longer Ghost. I'm me, and the only way I react is as
Look.
I'm talking to him, and he taps me, and I look, and I had just enough time to go, whoa, and do like a Bobby Green, do some head movement. I moved my head to the right, and that baseball hit my seat and made this loud pop and went up in the air, and then a few people scrambled for it. But in seeing what that baseball has done to others,
shit, you'd have lost your teeth.
I could have lost my teeth. I could have lost. I mean, it was a real good special. I know a lot of you are baseball fans. Check it out. People have gotten some serious surgeries, broken jaws, lost eyesight. I mean,
bro.
yeah, and I was like, whoa, that literally could have been me. And now I think back years later, Sammy the Squid could have given me a better
Yeah, what
warning
was
than
his
that.
explanation about that?
We just laughed it off. I was like, that's the best you could do. And even the people around us laughed. And he goes, well, I don't know. He goes, I just saw it at the last minute. But
Can you imagine if a train's coming or something? Hey, when you finish that point, I have something to tell you.
Yeah, a
And
train's
there's
about to
train
run you
right
over.
behind you.
Shit. And you were in that fight or flight moment, you know, where you only have a split second to react. You got to worry about certain guys like
Shoulder
that.
roll.
You're like, apparently he's cool enough where he can, hey, yeah.
Well, see, this was just a few weeks after your Affliction fight. And I remember after the Affliction fight, I was like, I got to learn that head movement. So I'd been practicing. So when that ball came, I had a little bit of that. All right, Bobby Green here in studio with us. Bobby, to revisit the lightweights that are fighting, whether you want to give a prediction or not, how about telling us how you think the fight will unfold, maybe the strengths that Khabib and Tony bring to this, high-profile fight?
Okay. Let's go with Tony first. I think Tony's where everybody's counting everyone out. As I said before, Tony's very crazy. He throws all these different approaches. One thing we got to take out of the equation is that, like, I was listening to their interview. Tony said this. He said, I've done so much jiu-jitsu now. He said, I was a state champ wrestler. I did all my wrestling, but I gave all that up to learn how to be a black belt. You know what I mean? And be honest, that kind of takes away because you're so used to going to your back now. I remember when I first get into jiu-jitsu, I had to break that habit of trying to get that submission. Sometimes it's position over submission, and that can win a fight. But learning that not to go to my back because this wrestler's going to get on top of me and waste 5 minutes of time, and I don't have enough time to work. I think we're going to see Tony do something different and maybe attack Khabib. So Tony was the first person to bring out. Khabib is in 25-0, okay? And when you look back, Gleison Tebow really did beat him. I don't know why he even got that decision. I don't know who, what somebody gave him
Could
that
argue
decision.
3 rounds for Tebow.
Yeah.
Could argue.
Yeah. I'd say one. I give Khabib one just from the pressure on the cage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More
yeah,
so. But
yeah,
I felt like
100%.
Gleison Tebow landed the better shots, harder shots, and got the takedowns.
Yep.
I don't know why they didn't give that to him.
Agree.
So he lost that fight. And when I started learning is that if you were attacking Khabib, it's different if you're making him wrestle too. Who have we seen shooting on Khabib?
Nobody.
Exactly. Except
Good
for
point.
Tebow, and
Yeah.
Tebow had more success with him. And I think Tony sees that, for one. So Tony's going to expose some things in him that we haven't seen. Things I noticed about Khabib. Khabib's very aggressive. But I think a guy like Conor can win. I really do. I think Conor can beat him. Khabib, the way he moves, it's this weird, like, I was using this word last night, scary. And I don't want to call him scary because he's fearless, but yet he is scary in a way. He's scared of getting punched. If you watch his fight, you'll see it. He's like, he jumps forward, he jumps back. He's like, he doesn't want to get hit, but he's like it's just this weird uncomfortability. You can see he's uncomfortable. He hasn't got that down yet. He wings these punches and his head down, and he's just throwing stuff to get to the clinch. Guys like that, if you can time, you can see things. Like a Conor, who's great at putting that one shot on you. Right when we need that one shot, he's going to get you. And if a guy can put enough power on one shot, I'm a guy, like, if I fought Khabib, I put one power shot, he takes me down, that's fine. I'm going to get back up. Abel Trujillo is able to get back up. It's okay. I'm going to put another power shot on your chin, another power shot. How many of those can you take on the chin? Okay, you can take me out. Take me down 21 times. Like, let me get you 21 times with this and see how many times you're going to keep coming, So I think that's key things that we're missing. It's a guy that can get Khabib to respect his power like a Conor. You can't just come in and run into me and take my shot and think you're going to just run down.
Right.
You got to have a little more respect for me. Barbosa is supposed to be considered our best striker, and he ran and he did that, but I don't even think Barbosa played this game. Like, Barbosa was doing leg kicks, low leg kicks, body shots. He never really hit Khabib with a solid shot to make him respect him,
I thought Michael Johnson had about 3 solid minutes against him. You know what I mean?
I think Michael Johnson did okay.
It does. You do need to move a lot. It requires a lot of cardio, and you have to be accurate, like you pointed out. Conor can be.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task for sure. But see, Michael is, and I know that if he watches, he'd give me a hard time. But this is the truth, and he has to know this. His ground game just isn't tight. You know what I mean? Michael Johnson doesn't have a tight ground game.
Yes, he doesn't.
So he has to stay on his feet.
Yep.
Now Tony does have a legitimate ground game, so he can take a few more risks. Now, but does he have the speed and power to match to like what Michael did? You see
I
what
think
I'm
he does. I do think Tony's nasty. Tony's nasty on the feet. You know, he can hang out with anyone. He's shown that he can hang out with anybody on the feet, and he can hang out with guys on the ground. So I do think Tony's going to shock us. I do think Tony's shock. I'm the only one to go for Tony. I don't know about anybody else, but I think Tony's going to shock the world. Khabib, hats off to him. I love the guy. I love his energy. The whole fucking interview they did. Have you heard the interview? I think Khabib won the interview. The audio, Khabib fucked him up. Hey, Tony, shut up. You talk after I talk, you know. He was like, he called him a house cleaner, you know, like he went there. He went there. Khabib was hitting him with some fucking shots, you know, in terms of on a verbal war. He hit him with some shots. But I still think Tony's going to come on top.
How about Paul Felder and Al Iaquinta?
Man, I think that's going to be a dope-ass fight. You know, I like to fight one of those guys, too. I want to fight everybody. I think Paul Felder's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to be able to use more of those legs and stuff like that, power shots, and he's going to get it for him.
Okay.
But Al comes to fight. Al comes to fight, and I love Al. I like the way he fights.
How about Chiesa and Anthony Pettis?
The grappler versus the striker. This is basically what we're happening. You know, Chelsea, he grabs you. How many finishes he's got by rear naked, and he finishes guys when he gets a hold of you. Can he get a hold of Pettis and stop all that movement? You know, it's all who can work their game. I think Chelsea is going to be able to grab and get a hold of him. We've seen that with what's his name, 45er that went back up to 55s. Crazy hair.
Clay.
Yes, Clay. Yeah. So Clay. We saw that with Clay. We saw that with different guys that want to pressure you and put you against that cage. I don't think Pettis has figured that out on how to stop that.
Gets this one done.
Yeah.
And lastly, no, there's two more. Gaethje and Poirier. That's the following week down in Arizona.
That's just gonna be bar burner. Eddie said something that was deep. Eddie said that he thinks that Gaethje's gonna win because at no point in time did he feel like Gaethje was ever gonna give up. No matter what happened, and he felt like Poirier gave something up. I fought Poirier, and I felt like when I was fighting Poirier, his shots are really slow, but he was hitting like a truck. Pow, pow, pow. And I'm like, oh, he's got a good pop, but he's not hitting me. I let him get off too many times. Let him throw 5 times. You let a guy throw 5 times, they're gonna hit you once. It just happens. You don't throw back, it's gonna happen. So I got caught. I didn't even know what hit me. I woke up, got back up on the ground. What did he hit me with? I don't even know what to change or what to adapt to because I can't even remember what I got hit with. I don't know if it was the left or the right hand. But I'm pissed now, and I'm fighting off emotion. I'm like, I'm not a punk. I'm going to scrap you into the death. And it cost me. But back to the fight, I think that it's going to be a bar burner. I think Gaethje has more heart in terms of that he's on another level with his heart. He fights with his heart. And I truly believe guys that fight with their heart will always come on top.
Do you remember an instance in your career where you hit someone with your best shot and they took it?
I don't know. I don't ever throw anything. I don't ever throw all my all into any shot because I'm always thinking chess. He's going to counter. He's ready for this. What happens when I do this? I'm always thinking about my next step. Pow, slip. Pow. He's coming something. He's got to throw something back. I'm always – so even like I was explaining to the PI, like when they're like, hey, when you're pushing, you get your power. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. You're explaining to me that, but you're not taking into account that this guy's going to be hitting me back. So when I'm – pushing off the hip, pow, I got to hurt him get back out before he's ready to set and go again, you know, before he's ready to counter.
What about the reverse?
Explain.
So you took someone's best shot and you knew at that moment, I got this guy.
I fought Lando, and Lando put me down to the mat, and felt like that was his best shot. I don't know. I just feel like some guys are like, fuck, what do I do? Some guys are like, well, you're going to keep taking them. It's to each his own, you know. Lando still kept coming. He still kept fighting. Even though he put me down, I still kept coming, pushing on him, and we both fought to the end. You really can't tell with some guys in their hearts. You don't know, really.
Who hit you the hardest in your career?
Hit me in the hardest? Poirier. He hits the hardest. Yeah, I don't feel like anybody else hit harder than Poirier. He hits really hard. He's just slow, and I thought I could see everything. And then I just let it go, and then I got caught.
What's the worst time, practice or in a fight, that someone's ever leg kicked you and you went, oh, that's a good one?
The hardest, okay, first of all, Barbosa kicked my quad off, okay? He kicked the quad literally off of the bone. I had to get it reattached.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah. I fought that whole fight with my whole quad gone. You know what I mean? That's how tough I am. I'm not a bitch. I'm here to fight to the end. So he kicked my quad off, and I'm still chasing you. And I've seen in many fights where he kicks guys' quads and guys are falling on the ground, they're laying. I was expecting one of those. But I've been there. But the hardest kicker, Lorenz Larkins. Hardest kicker, Lorenz Larkins. Yeah. That was my training part. That's where I learned how to get my stand-up from. Lorenz Larkins and Stan Mason, they taught me how to stand up. Lorenz would kick this leg out, and I couldn't walk no more. And then I'd be on this side, and he'd kick this leg out. And I'd be like, Coach, this is when Lorenz is at heavyweight, 205. I'm a 55er. Like, Coach, I can't fight with this guy and match punch for punch or power for power. He used to put me out for weeks, and I come back in the gym and get beat up some more and get beat up some more. And finally I started learning how to fight. He taught me how to fight.
What's your proudest moment in your career?
My proudest moment? Damn. I don't know if I even think about these things. You know, I just kind of go. I'm just going with the sport. Wherever God takes me, wherever God takes me. God, proudest moment.
All right, I mean, you
I didn't
think
even
about
thought about that.
You
know
think
what I mean?
about that one, I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to trick you right here. Now, I know you're a tough guy, but you keep it real.
Yeah.
When's the last time you cried?
Last time I cried.
Like a movie or just sad news or peeled an onion?
Damn. I think I cried Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson's the last person I cried. Now I'm going to beat him. No. My brother had just got killed, you know, so I was in a dark place. You know, he had just died a couple weeks before that.
So all that emotion
my little
came
brother,
out?
My little brother being murdered, you know. So on top of that, I had a story come out about me, and it was some personal things that was happening. I don't even want to get too far into that, but some very personal shit happened where, like, some deep shit happened. So I get a letter on my door, hey, we need you to come into court now and do this and this. And I'm dealing with some court shit, and my brother's dead, and I got the biggest fight of my career, and I got everybody on my phone saying, they're like, we're looking up to you, we're pushing, we need you, you're representing our area. And so I just felt all that and shit. I just started fucking losing it, like, fuck. You know, like, when everybody's counting on you.
Yeah. No, cool.
So I probably think that's probably the last time I think I cried.
What's your favorite musical artist?
Fuck, bro. I am a music connoisseur.
It ain't Ja Rule.
Hell no.
Sure.
Man, I can go all day with music. Like, I fuck with Meek Mill. Like, I got a lot of artists that, like, I mess with. Like, I really, like, I'm into that. Like, Meek. I'm a big 50 Cent fan. Like, since G Unit days and stuff. Those were, like, my upbringing. Young Jeezy. Yo Gotti. I fuck with the trap shit, the street shit. I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, you guys might not even know about this music. I don't know. If y'all know about
you know
about Yo Gotti?
I recognize a few. Not
exactly.
That one.
Yeah, that's that hood shit. You ain't ready for all that.
No,
I'm gonna change you. It'll change your whole outlook. You be like, man, you start acting different. It'll change your whole outlook.
I want to go back to something real quick. This Josh Thompson fight, I remember this because of what came out of it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, wasn't this when they released the UFC rankings? Didn't they have him above you and you just beat him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what blows my mind about that. I'm like, how do you beat a guy and he's still a rank ahead of you?
Because there's no better way of figuring out who's better than having them fight. That's the whole reason we're here.
And he's still ranked ahead of me.
Yeah. Did they ever give you an explanation? Like, I got to imagine you brought that up, right?
No, I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Suck my dick. I don't care. That's fucking that's ratings.
I'll tell you why, guys.
Rankings. I don't care.
Because they have all their media people that are part of it participate by sending in their, I don't know if it's a
that
point
was
system.
back when they still had like 100 people, right?
Yeah, and they've shaved it down, but they still have more than either 5. You have to have like less than 5 or 10 if you all communicate. We gotta have thousands, because 1,000, if somebody turns in something crazy,
so it's a popularity contest, is what you're telling me.
Well, no, it can be a bias contest. So let's say there's someone in Brazil that goes, "Fuck it, all the Brazilians 1 through 5," or Japanese or Russian, right? You can weed that out if you have 1,000. If you have about 1,000 other ballots that are coming in, it's no problem. Or if someone just forgets to turn it in or whatever. But when you have somewhere in the 100, which is what they had, it can happen, especially if you don't have people that are passionate about it and care about it, because they don't remember. They just do it on their phone. And so stuff like that happens. I've always had a problem with the UFC rankings because that has happened at least, I kid you not, 50 to 100 times where I look at the rankings and I go, they just fought. Why is he ahead of him?
That
Or,
makes
him
no
ahead of
sense.
him, or he, whatever, when they just fought and everything's pretty similar. And I believe that's it. And I think that's something that we have rarely had at USA Today Sports and MMA Junkies rankings. And if it has happened, there's enough of an explanation, or there might be a round robin where he beat him, he beat you, you beat him, and then you can see, well, that was the latest result.
I can understand something
but
like that.
For the most part, that's the way it is. All right, we got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We will be right back on with our last guest of the day. His name is Kevin Novacek, and he's going to be fighting at Victory FC 60. And so we'll talk to him about that fight that's coming up. 19-3 overall. Anxious to talk to this dude.
fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and goes, thank you.
The Final Four is on SiriusXM. ESPN Radio's live coverage from San Antonio continues at noon Eastern, with play-by-play starting at 6 Eastern on Channel 84 and on the SiriusXM app. This weekend you have Villanova versus Kansas. I don't know about no Kansas. And Loyola Chicago versus Michigan. Also, shout out to Michael Sanchez here in the studio. He's getting married on Saturday, so advance congratulations on your upcoming nuptials. All right, Bobby Green, our guest here in studio. We're going to take a break from him for about 5-10 minutes here as we catch up with our last guest of the day. His name and the last guest of the week. His name is Kevin Novacek. Hopefully I got that right. He's 19-3 overall. He'll be fighting Andrew Capel at VFC 60, which you can watch on the UFC Fight Pass. The fights will emanate from Hammond, Indiana at the Horseshoe Casino. They are in the main event. Kevin, how you doing, my man? Thanks for joining us here on MMA Junkie Radio.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kevin, listen, no disrespect or anything, but 19-3, this is the first time I'm kind of hearing about you, my man. That's a great record. And do you just not seek out much publicity, or how have you kind of flown a little bit under the radar? Or maybe I'm just the big dumb goof here.
No, you're not dumb at all, dude. Don't say that. Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't really been in the manager game for long, so I never had anybody to kind of put my name out there. And I had to take. There was a few year stints where I didn't fight, so I was kind of flying under the radar a little bit. But now I'm back in the game and ready to make my name out there, dude.
Yeah, and you're in the main event slot there at Victory FC 60. So that's a good spot to be on the UFC Fight Pass. Talk a little bit about that matchup versus Andrew Capel.
Man, I'm just ready to get it over with, ready to get my hand raised. I've been training hard. That's it, man. I'm excited to be back in there after a year layoff. So I'm really calm. I'm really cool. I'm trained. I'm healthy. So just ready to go in there and do my thing, man.
Also, here's another reason why I can't believe you're under my radar. I'm a big nickname guy, and I love your nickname. Give me your lunch money is your nickname. Where did that come from, man? Were you a little bit of a bully there, Kevin, back in the day? Are you taking people's lunches?
You know, actually the opposite. I was probably bullied in high school and getting my lunch taken, so maybe that's why I chose it, you know?
You
trying to get that revenge back.
Did somebody give you that tag, or when did that go down?
No, you know what? I actually had that since my first fight. It was my first amateur fight. I was 18, and it kind of came out of nowhere when the announcer asked me if I wanted a nickname, and I just said, yeah, give me your lunch money, as a joke. And then, but he laughed so hard that I kind of just stuck with it for that fight, and I got so many compliments after the fight that I just stuck with me ever since then. So it's kind of a thing for me now.
So were you kind of harboring, I guess, that thought, that feeling that it just came off the top of your head? Was this a big problem growing up? Were you getting bullied a lot?
Oh, no, nothing totally major like you see nowadays. No, it was just a top of my head type of thing. I like to be sporadic and comedic at times, so it popped in there and it just stuck ever since. And it's a fit.
All right. Now tell me a little bit about, I guess, this matchup. I'm sure you've done your homework on Andrew Capel, and give us a little bit of a brief rundown of this matchup between yourself and him, your strengths and weaknesses matching up with his.
You know what? I'm honestly not too big on looking up opponents too much. I'll do a little bit of insight to get a basic idea of what they do, strikers or wrestlers or whatever. But I'm not huge on looking really in depth into how they are, because sometimes you get a game plan off of that, and then they do something different, and your game plan kind of goes out the window.
Exactly. So
the fights start standing, so I kind of just go in there, working the stand-up at first and seeing where it goes from there, and I see that's how this one's going to go too.
That's my model too, bro.
All right. We got UFC lightweight Bobby Green here with us as well. That's him chiming in. And my co-host, Goes, he's got a question or two for you. All right, Goes, what do you have for Kevin?
Kevin, when you prepare for a guy like Andrew, I know you're saying, I know a lot of people like to talk about ring rust, and some fighters come on and say absolutely exists, and others say, nah, I've never experienced it. Where do you stand on something like that, and what do you do to prepare for something like that?
I'm kind of on the side where it doesn't exist. I kind of think it's maybe just a mental hurdle that people put in front of them. I think that as long as you're training hard, even through your layoff and whatever, and you still know how to fight, obviously, as long as you're training hard, I think it kind of all just chimes right back in when you're in the moment. So I'm kind of a believer in it being more of a mental thing than an actual thing.
At the end of the day, I know fighters want to get, it's all about the wins and not getting the loss. But being in the main event, is there any added pressure that comes with that, with not only getting the win, but being exciting?
I guess there's some, like you guys said, I'm 19-3, so I kind of been in the show for enough fights, so I'm kind of pretty good at not letting the nerves get to me. But yeah, I'm sure that when I get there, I'll be main event, last fight. Everybody will be waiting. I'm sure I'll get some added pressure, but not enough to where it's gonna hinder my performance in any way.
Kevin Novacek, a.k.a. Give Me Your Lunch Money, on the line here. He'll be fighting Andrew Capel at VFC 60. The fights can be seen on the UFC Fight Pass, and all of this goes down on April 14th, so it is coming up. Your camp must be winding down by now, Kevin, right?
Yeah, I'm still training hard, but just making sure that I'm slowly healthy when I get into that ring, that cage,
All right, our fight analyst, Dan Tom's got a question for you. Dan, what do you have for Kevin Novacek?
Kevin, kind of like George said, 19-3, and he's not in a mean way, but he's like, I didn't hear you. But when you look at your record, there's some recognizable names there, especially for people who follow the sport. Some really experienced guys, both in and out of the UFC. And also, I see you're training, at Rufus Sport Academy, Duke Rufus. A lot of great guys there. They're obviously doing good things. Can you tell me, does that help you kind of get? You feel like you get an edge on the competition, whether it's the fight that's in front of you or just as far as your future, being able to have that experience against guys coming up through the ranks and train with experienced guys on top of it?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah, I think, having experience advantage in the fights, I think it a lot of times plays into the other guys' minds if they didn't have as much experience. So I enjoy having that advantage. And then, being at Rufus Sport in the Midwest, I couldn't ask for a better gym. So that definitely comforts me fight day, knowing that I couldn't have trained harder or sparred with tougher dudes.
Now, King Bobby Green's got a question for you as well. What do you got, Bobby?
So you're from the Rufus camp, huh? I just fought Coke from y'all camp, so I have an interesting question for you. What is most important to you? Is it the W? Is it the check? Is it an entertaining fight? What is most important to you? What are you getting out of fighting?
I'm definitely not going to say it's a check, because I think when you look at the money, especially where I'm...
Oh, fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
I can't look at the money, but I definitely want to win. But if I win, with a boring fight, I'm almost going to look at it as a loss, because I'm trying to, make it to the big time. I feel that nowadays you've got to have that finish on your record. So
there we go.
I want that win, and I want that finish, man. Ideally,
Yeah. That's what I want to see if you're more into it. Because I know a lot of the Rufus guys are very exciting to watch. The problem is that when you guys run into these wrestlers and they shut your excitement down.
Yeah,
but you guys are very exciting.
I fought a lot of wrestlers on my record, though. And I'm pretty good at wrestling. So the last wrestlers that I fought, I've actually taken them down instead of allowing myself to get taken down. So I think I can handle that well.
That's dope, bro. I'm going to be watching that fight. I'm going to be watching you.
I appreciate it, man.
All
appreciate
right.
you.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us here on the show. We really appreciate you. I'm glad we were able to squeeze this one in. Give me a final prediction for this fight on April 14th. You're going to lay him out? You're going to squeeze his neck? Or are you going to punish him for the length of the duration of the fight?
I'm going to say it's going to be a third-round finish via a rear naked choke.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Novacek, 19-3 overall, headlining VFC 60 coming up here on April 14th on the UFC Fight Pass. Thank you for the time, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you guys for having me, okay? Enjoy yours as well.
All right, thank you.
Tell Coke I said what's up.
I'll tell him, all right, dude?
All right, we'll see it. All right, now shout out to Scott Zer for making that one happen. All right, Goes, I think you had a set of questions left for Bobby Green because we are starting to wind things down. What you got?
Yeah, Bobby, okay, so going back to Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, gosh.
Say he comes up to you and he says, look, I apologize for everything that happened. Would you help me transition to mixed martial arts? Would you train me?
Would I help him?
Yeah.
I guess I'll be a bigger man. Like, if it was an apology, I'm cool like that. Like, if you were willing to do that, we can squash and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty easy going with those things like that. I just want to make sure he's serious. If he's serious, don't troll our sport. If he's serious, I don't know if he's trolling or if he's serious yet. They keep talking about him fighting CM Punk and fighting these different hypotheticals. But are you serious? I think I don't know if he's trolling or if he's serious. So that's what really is bothering me too. Is don't play with my sport like that. This is some real shit. There's some real men over here Don't play with us.
If the UFC paid you, they said you're the guy, you're going to fight him, but Floyd paid you more to train him to fight someone else, which one would you like more? Let's just say it's double to train him. So whatever it is, if you get $1 million to fight him, you get $2 to train him.
Interesting. It's not about the money. Like, I don't know why people think it's about money and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, it's not about the money. Like, don't get me wrong, money's nice. I'm here to feed my family. But at the same time, when I die, I can't take this money with me. So all I can take is certain memories and stuff, and I would love to be in there to fight somebody that I looked at as a legend at some point in time, or I was looking up to, and now I'm in the cage with you, and I get to work my skills, the same skills that maybe I stole from you against you. So I think it's kind of dope, you know what I mean? I think it's dope. So I think I'd rather fight him for less than to be training him for more.
If somebody came up to you and they said, Bobby, I'm getting into the sport, I've had a few fights, what advice would you give them about just training, things that you've learned, and the business side of mixed martial arts?
I would say, like Rashad, when I first got to UFC, Rashad put me under his arm. It's like, hey, it's not about what you do in the cage sometimes, it's about what you do outside. He's like, just smile, be happy, and it's going to all work out for you. So sometimes I would say, for someone who's trying to get into the game, I would say do the sport. You have to literally do the sport. Like, I know a lot of guys that want to do, like, a lot of strength and conditioning and make sure they're ready cardio-wise. But I get ready fight-wise. I fight every day, and I make sure that I'm in that environment because there's something in fighting that you can't not learn. There's something like, that's why Diaz is special. There's certain guys that are just special. They're just normal. They're just used to fighting all the time. That is like this X factor. When they get in there and you got Conor who's fucking dropping this guy twice in a row. Put Diaz down twice already. And Diaz is coming back and winning the fight all of a sudden. You know what I mean? This is X factor. It's something that you can't learn. That's something that's gained with experience. Mm-hmm. The way to breathe, the way to handle punches, the way to calm yourself down. You got to be really calm in these wars and these fights. And I'm always calm. I'm to the point where I'm talking to my coach and I'm still in this war with you. I'm too calm.
Mm-hmm. You'd get a kick out of a movie that I just watched yesterday, and it was you walked out in the middle of the movie, Roberto Duran. So right now it's on Netflix, and Robert De Niro plays the part of, I think it's Ray Arcelli, notable trainer who was telling him the same thing: slow it down. Once you slow it down, the strategies that we've taught you, you're gonna see these. You're gonna have these great big openings, but you need to calm yourself down. And then same thing that you talked about, I think, with Marlon a little bit. When it's time to press. And when it's time to, to hang back, but do them both well.
Yes.
And at the same time, he kept telling him, slow things down. And I really, really got a kick out of it. I want to almost rewatch it with you because we're both Roberto Duran fans.
Yeah, I didn't walk out in the middle of the movie.
No. It's not like you threw the remote down and said,
exactly. I was just walking out of the house.
You'll really like it. And
there's that movie Southpaw, you would.
Bobby.
Yeah, so you got the art of war. And when you're getting there and you're battling and you're at this certain heart rate. I'm at 180 beats, and you're at 180 beats. Who can keep performing at that level for so long? That's the same thing we're dealing with at the PI, is who can compete at these certain heart rates for so long. I'm okay with this heart rate and I can keep gunning it for 15 minutes at this place. Some guys fall apart. One is like people that think like I'm physically ready. I could run miles and it's something different. When I hit you with a body shot, how can you take it? How do you respond? Does your heart and how you react to these things that are happening to you? Because you can get scared and kick your heart rate up even higher.
Yeah.
It's how you control your emotions. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Bruce Lee's the best, to be like water. I'll just flow. And I have to always control my emotions to control the aggression. If I get too, I got like that with Poitier because me and him got into it. I got like, and now I'm not myself. I got out of myself to control your aggression. You got to know how to control yourself.
Did you just say Southpaw?
Yeah.
Okay. When I was on Netflix, it said you might like. What's that one about?
It's about a terrible movie that has nothing to do with the title or Southpaws. It's awful. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Yeah,
but everybody's been telling me it's a good movie. I haven't watched it yet, but everybody's telling me it's a good movie.
Duran, the one he said was good was worth it. The one he said I would watch.
You watch Southpaw?
The Southpaw I didn't like. I didn't
like.
Okay. I didn't like it as a movie because it's just story stuff. It does my least favorite thing that I talk about where they set something up and they don't pay it off. You know, they don't pay it off anyway. Sorry. And then also for boxing wise, it doesn't have much to do with being a southpaw, and it actually is really stupid why they even call it that when you find out why. So.
Wow.
I'll just say that. I mean, you make your own decision.
I'm gonna watch
trying to
it
hate it. It's got some style to it, like some good actors, got a good look to it. Like there's good things about the movie that was attractive. I sat through the whole thing. You know.
Was it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of cliched.
But
like everything they did.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it rang kind of false with you too. It rang false with you too. Then. Yeah.
So one more thing here, Danny Okers. Do we have one more break? How are we looking?
We do have one more break.
So let's take that one, get it out of the way. That way we can just cross the finish line. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll take this call from Showtime from Tennessee. We got Bobby Green here in studio, and things are wrapping up soon. If you want to follow Showtime, you got to hurry. 866-522-2846.
Call me now.
Left, right. BA, start. You told me that code would get rid of them. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, but now they know I tried to kill them. Hold on, Mom. Here are George and Goes.
Fantasy baseball season has begun, and Sirius XM Sports Radio is helping you win. Listen to the best fantasy baseball analysts tell you which players you need to have in your lineup and hear live scoring updates so you can track your team's performance. If you play fantasy baseball, you need to listen to Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius 210, XM87, and on the Sirius XM app by searching Fantasy Sports. All right, let's talk to Showtime from Tennessee. He's got a call here to make, so it'll be maybe the last call of the week. Showtime from Tennessee. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
What's up, fellas? And Bobby motherfucking Green. What's up, man?
Oh, what's up, big dog?
Hey, we were just, I was fucking with Gigi, your last fight. You know, we were like commenting after the fight.
Who,
I
me?
said I love when I love when Bobby is fighting and he hold his hands down and kind of make your back get wide like a python. And
we call that the rooster. We call that the rooster.
The root. Okay. I knew it was something because I see you do that shit in your fights, and I was like, man, that shit. I love when you do that shit. I'm like, he gang.
I appreciate that,
do
bro.
That posture, I'm like, okay, he ready.
I just bring different energy to the sport, man. I just try to bring some entertainment, you know, that's all. You know, I feel like if we're not entertaining, then what the fuck are we doing, you know?
Exactly, man. And I know when you fight, man, you're going to go in there and give it your fucking all. Like you said, you're going to put on a show. And this is not going to be a fucking hug fest or
yeah, bro. Yeah, that's very important to me. You from Tennessee?
Yeah.
That's
from
what's up.
Chattanooga, man.
That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, thank you for calling, bro. Really appreciate you.
All right, boss.
All right, Showtime. Thanks for the call. Hey, one more thing. I want to clean up shop. Danny Oker's our producer. He's got something to say, right, Danny? Do you have a question for Bobby or someone else?
Well, we were talking about doing the 5 questions. I was going to see if I could ask my 1 question.
All right, so do your 5 questions, and Danny can have his last question. And
I got to open up for Danny?
All right, Danny, you're the opening act. Goes is the headliner.
Shit.
All right, Bobby.
Yes,
what
sir.
is your favorite dinosaur and why?
Favorite dinosaur? It looked like we were going out there for a second. But,
yeah.
If I would say favorite dinosaur, I want to say the T-Rex. You know what I'm saying? King of the jungle, like, in terms of dinosaurs, you know, the most feared and stuff, even though he's got these little bitty arms, you know?
He's got a bad jab.
You know? Oh, man.
Yeah, your reach wouldn't be that good.
But, like, I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. I like that fucking Jurassic thing they made, you know, which, of course, is fictional, but if we're going to talk about it.
There's a new one coming out, too.
Huh?
There's a new one
Yeah, I'm waiting on that one. Yeah, but that was a sick-ass one that they made, you know, out of all the different dinosaur parts and shit. But if I would say a dinosaur, I'd probably say a T-Rex.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Goes.
All right. I'm going to ask you 5 ridiculous questions. You ready?
All right. Bring it on.
All right. You get paid $4,000 a month, okay?
Sheesh. Okay.
Check comes in the mail every time, all right? But
that'd be nice.
Anytime you get within 50 feet of somebody over the age of 95 years old, you're going to automatically shit your pants. Would you take that job?
Over 90?
95.
95?
95 or over.
I make $4,000.
Somebody could be walking right now. That's
and I lose my shit.
You shit your pants. As long as
guys.
you can kind of stay away from that, you're going to get $4,000 a month.
I'm with that shit.
Yeah?
I wear a diaper. Give me some of those Depends. Depends me up and I'm ready.
Yeah?
Put on my diaper.
All right. Question number 2. Would you lose 2 inches off your dick if it meant you never had to pay for a bill at a restaurant ever again?
Hell no. I mean, we talking about my dick now, bro. Well, I got 2 inches more to spare, so I don't know.
Think about it. Anytime you go to a restaurant, hey, it's on me.
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. Like, my thing is I'm into pleasing my woman, you know, and that's big to me, you know. It's like a battle. It's like a fight. That's just as more important to me. Like a fight. I better fucking impress.
That's the one time.
I better impress in the bed too. Right? I better impress in the bed too. That's how I go down.
You gotta make weight, right?
You know what I'm saying? I gotta get the fight of the night in the bed too.
Damn it, you guys talk too loud. I didn't get my joke in. I had a classic. You missed it. I didn't fight. You don't want to finish too early.
Oh, no. Oh, I missed that one. Oh, man.
Shots fired.
How much money would it cost for you to put a cockroach in your mouth for 10 minutes without damaging it? He's not going to crawl down the back of your throat. He's just going to chill.
Shit. I done had roaches all my life. I grew up with roaches. Bro, like I got a Mexican cousin. In this motherfucker's house, I'd say it'd be 10 million roaches in it. Like, you just turn on the flight and they just start running for their dear lives. You know what I mean? Roaches are like my cousins. I've been living with these motherfuckers since day one. So a roach ain't shit to me. I'll pop a roach in my mouth right now. Like, I don't give a fuck.
All right, hang on to your 4th and 5th question. I'm going to do a soft exit here for the SiriusXM audience. You have more combat sports and entertainment headed your way. And, of course, we'll be back next Monday through Wednesday with some more MMA Junkie Radio. Big thanks to all of our guests this week: Megan Levy, Jimmy Rivera, Jake Ellenberger, Angela Reyes, Jamal Emmers, Mo Usman, Eddie Alvarez, Jimmy Smith,
Jamal Embers,
King Mo, Casey Stern, Leon Edwards, Justin Gagey, Michael Chandler, Marlon Moraes, Kevin Novacek, and, of course, Bobby Green. Now, those of you that want to catch a little bit of overtime, we got a couple more questions here from the Zany Goes towards Bobby Green. And you can catch those at facebook.com/official MMA Junkie or youtube.com/MMA Junkie video. The rest of you go out there and be a champions, and then we'll see you for some overtime.
If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always that I had a swinging time. I'm gonna give
Guys,
it
clear for
everything.
overtime?
All right, Ghost, proceed with question number 4.
Would you rather have the ability to never get pulled over by a cop, but you drive a shitty car, or every day you get pulled over by a cop, but you drive the car of your dreams?
Okay, that's an interesting story. I got an interesting story for you. I used to get pulled over like fucking 20 times a month. Literally, like, no bullshit, 20 times a month. I had a 78 Cutlass, and Cutlass is in my city, like in my hood. That shit's like, you got to be a dope dealer to have those. You know what I mean? Because dope dealers, like, I guess they could hide drugs in the car. It has so many places you can hide drugs in the car. But I just really liked the car, and I just thought, like, it's going to be my old school classic at that time. I think all rappers were doing, like, rap was big in the South, so everybody had these old school big rim cars, and I wanted that look, you know? And so I got this car of a friend, and every time I got in it, every day I would get pulled over. Every day, at least.
Whether you did anything wrong or not, you were just being targeted.
I'm not doing nothing wrong, bro. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I mean, I might smoke a little weed here and there, but that's illegal too. So you can't even test me there. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I don't really like try to break no laws and shit like that. I'm very cooperative with the police. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. You know. But I would get pulled out of my car, get searched all the time. Every time I come home with my girl, she'd be like, "Did you get pulled over Yup. It was like her, instead of saying, how you doing? It was, did you get pulled over today? Like, yeah. And then sometimes they took my car. They would take me. I got a 2-year-old son. They take me, his car seat, say, get out, take all the shit you can, and walk your ass. You know, they take my car. So they took my car. I think I had like 4 driving on suspended license because I just kept on just getting hit. San Bernardino's real hot. They be on niggas' head, especially if you're young. And I was driving this damn car. So I spent $2,000 to get that to get the car, the engine all painted and done right. So this was my car, and I'm not letting this motherfucker go. I get pulled over in it, and they take it, and they impound it for 30 days. So I'm like, okay. I make my little fight happen. I fight, and I get my little money, and as soon as the 30 days came, I got my car right back out. Like, they ain't getting my shit. A week later, I get pulled over again. They take it again. You know, I'm just like.
But by then, you had already paid your stuff.
Yeah.
So
But
why
no,
did they take
not my fines and stuff.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I was still doing court stuff. I had to end up going to jail behind that stuff and just behind so many driving a suspended license and stuff like that.
Shit.
So what was your question, though?
Would I rather drive a fly-ass whip that I get pulled over in all the time, which was my 78 Cutlass that I was trying to get into, you know, and have that dream car, or would I rather just drive around and not get bothered but being a piece of shit?
So now that you live that, what would you rather do? Revisit that or go with the second option?
Shit, I don't fear nobody. I'm doing me. I'll be riding around in that fly shit. I don't give a fuck if police put me over or not.
All right.
Nice. Would you rather have pancake-sized nipples or upside-down genitals? So your nuts are on top of your dick.
Shit. Look at these fucking questions.
Pancakes are like that big.
Look at these fucking questions. No. Pancake nipples is not the business. It's not the business. I'm going to go with the balls on top, because then my girl can suck me up and give me a little massage at the same time. Rub them at the same time.
There you have it. All right. All right, Goes, you good?
I'm good.
Danny Okers, you good?
I'm good.
Dan Tom, you good?
I didn't even ask a question of Bobby.
Oh,
no,
what you got for him?
Well, now also not put me on the spot.
Oh, no, I mean, if not, I have one more.
No. I mean, honestly, I was just gonna ask about lightweights because you know that was the topic, and
yeah, go ahead and do that because that's where mine's gonna go as well.
Well, no, I mean, you kind of answered. Mine was just essentially I'm doing now it's gonna look selfish, but I'm doing an article on top fights to help shape the lightweight division. It's a division that got me into the sport. Yeah. It's my favorite division. A little obviously you're a little biased there too, obviously, but. You know, what is that? What is that makes it so special? Where guys, you kind of were mentioning it earlier, probably like in the first maybe 20 minutes of the show, where you were talking about guys making a difference. I don't know what the exact words were. I'm trying to recall. Sorry, but it was in regards to Mayweather, McGregor, and this and that. Why is it these guys that are doing that? Because before Conor, there are plenty of guys. That's what it was. You were talking about jock and moves, and BJ was doing multi-divisional stuff and talking about going to boxing and having contracted pieces champion before Conor went through that saga. We talk about guys, stealing moves, and you see guys doing the front flip move that you coined, and we've seen that before. Speaking of Penn, like I think some Brazilian cat, I think knocked out Kevin Lee and did the BJ Penn versus Cal Uno thing where he runs back, and you see guys will kind of do moves. But there's so much parity in that lightweight division, man. Well, why is there so much talent and parity in there?
it goes back. I used to ask my wrestling coach about this, you know, when we were talking about what is the heaviest or the hardest classes in wrestling. The same thing. I think that the body type is usually around 155. It's just, I'm sorry, the average person is going to be there, so you have more people around that size.
Yeah.
There's not so many heavyweights, and that's why they have a problem with heavyweights, where you can win 1-2 fights, and I'm up for a title, you know?
Right.
In lightweight, you got to win 15, and then you're considered, you know, a top 10, you know? So it's just different. We have so many people there. So the odds of being the best out of all those people are a lot higher and a lot harder to do.
I know this much, Dan. The average height for all men in the whole world is 5'10".
Yeah. I'm 5'10".
Right. But I don't know what the average weight is, but whatever it is, just that 5'10" frame alone, you think lightweight, tall featherweight, or like GSP, stockier, shorter, welterweight.
Yeah.
So I think there's just more of you. There's more
that's
men.
what I'm saying. It's just more men in that team, so it's going to be harder to be the best out of all those men.
Right, exactly. And my last question was, you know, you did a great job of telling us about those upcoming fights. The one we left out, and I think I'd like to hear your thoughts on, is Kevin Lee and Edson Barboza. Just strengths and weaknesses, and if you have a winner for us, we'd love to hear it.
I'm really happy for Kevin Lee. Is that Kevin Lee's finally fighting someone. You know, we felt like he only fought Chiesa, and now he's getting a title shot. He needed to earn a little bit more. I don't know if it's because his management company, that whole CNA or whatever company he's managed by, that got him that deal, or sometimes it's who you know, but you didn't earn it. You know, I don't know how he's gotten to that. But now that he's fighting some legit opponent, let's see how this goes. I've always seen some holes in his stand-up. He's always been a good grappler, good wrestler. So I saw that where he did that with Tony. He was able to get on top and do all those different things like that in terms of the wrestling. So I think he's a great wrestler. I think he's going to be able to bully Barboza the same way. He's going to try to run the Khabib game plan, takedowns and wrestling. That's what Kevin's good at. Kevin's a wrestler. Okay? Kevin's not a good boxer or anything like that, but he's trying. He's trying to pick those things up. But right now he's just a great wrestler. Barboza's coming off that loss, and I really want to see where his head is at. Right now, my hat's off to Barboza, because I do believe he's fought and every person is putting in front of him. He's just like me. We don't get to pick. I don't know about all these other lightweights, but I feel like we're in a season of the era of of entitlement. I call it the era of entitlement. Like Conor started this shit, where all of a sudden everybody's entitled to certain things. Well, I don't want to fight that guy, or I want to do this, or they all get to say these things. I've never ever in my career got to say no to him, yes to him. I've never got to pick opponent. When I've seen other UFC fighters, they get to pick out of 3. I've never gotten to pick. Whoever comes is whoever gets it, and that's just what it is. And the same thing for Barboza. Now that's what I say about no respect about him. He's never picking. He's always right there on whoever they put in front of him.
Right on, my man. All right. Well, thank you so much, not only for your breakdowns, but just the whole 2 hours. We had a blast with you.
It's been awesome, bro.
And sounds like you're going to be making more trips to Vegas. So, look, if you're not in camp, or if it's a day where you just need a break, and
I don't want to burst your bubble. I'm not coming back no more. This is a one-time thing. I don't do interviews. I just have fun. One time my coach made me do this. To be honest, my coach was like, "Hey, you should do it. We're out here, do it." I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do interviews. I don't want to do it.
All right.
Like,
what'd you think? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time, and that's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like doing it.
He'll be back. I can already see it. I can already. If we weren't from SoCal, he wouldn't give us that pass. But the fact that we're from the OC, he's from the IE, I think we made a connection. He finally met us in person after all these years. You know, at least
tell Kenny I'm still looking for Kenny. Tell Kenny I'm looking for him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come in his face. Tell him that. Coming in his face.
Was that pre-show stuff, or what was all that? Huh?
No.
Yeah.
That was pre-show stuff.
No,
this is back at the last fight. He did some funny shit. I told his ass I'm gonna get him. So when you see him, just do this to him. Like that. He'll get it.
All right, so that was a fun show today with Bobby Green and Kevin Novacek. Thank you for your time, and Marlon Moraes as well. I already went through the guest list earlier, so we are going to bounce on out of here. We'll see you all next week. We have a Monday through Wednesday lineup, and, of course, after that we'll be going to visit the military, so we'll be off on Thursday and Friday. All right, for Danny back east, Dan Tom, the Fight Analyst, goes, our co-host, Bobby Green, UFC Lightweight. I'm George. Have a nice day. Go out there and be a champion.